Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Plant Systematics class. We have almost completed the discussion of general characters of family Apiaceae. Now these are the final videos. Hopefully I shall try to complete it in this particular video, or there might be another short video to complete this topic. So we have discussed so far three floral parts: calyx, corolla, and androecium. And now it's the term of the final or the fourth whorl of the flower, which is gynoecium or the carpels, the female part, the female reproductive part of the flower. So gynoecium in family Apiaceae, and this is the general terminology that is used for the description of gynoecium. Bicarpellary. So there are two carpels, and then we mention the union of the carpels. So it is syncarpus. So there are two carpels in family Apiaceae. It's a bicarpellary gynoecium. However, the two carpels are united. So syncarpus, this indicates the union of the carpels. When it becomes a syncarpus ovary, so it might be unilocular, bilocular, and so forth. So it is syncarpus and bilocular. So ovary, for example, this is the cross section of the ovary, and it is bilocular. So a very simple diagram, we have drawn a circle and then divided it into two parts. So just to illustrate the concept. Now these are two carpels, they are united. So bicarpellary, syncarpus, the ovary is bilocular. So obviously the locules are found in the ovary, as the carpel consists of three parts: ovary, style, and stigma. So this discussion of the locules and ovules, placentation, this is all related to ovary. So ovary is bilocular, then comes its placentation, and you know what are placentas. The ovules in the ovary, they are attached to a specialized cushion-shaped tissue that is known as placenta. So placenta is a specialized tissue to which ovules are attached in the ovary wall. So they are attached, for example, if we just change the color of the pen a little. So for example, this is, say, placenta. So this is placenta. So this is a specialized cushion-shaped tissue to which, say, this is an ovule and it is attached to this placenta. So this is an ovule. This is just to demonstrate the concept, or just to tell you actual position in the ovary is somewhat different. This was just a demonstration to let you know the basic concept of placenta. So next is the term placentation. Placenta, as I just said, specialized tissue. These tissues arise from the ovary wall, and to those tissues ovules are attached. So what is placentation? It is the arrangement of the placenta on the ovary wall or in the ovary wall. Placentation, it is the arrangement of, remember, it is arrangement of the placenta and not the ovules, arrangement of placenta in the ovary. How placenta are arranged? So there are several different kinds of placentation. We have marginal placentation, we have parietal placentation, and we have axile placentation, free central placentation, basal placentation, and so forth. So there are many different kinds of placentation. The placentation, or the kind of placentation which is found in family Apiaceae, is axile placentation. So axile placentation is found in family APAC. So let's see what is axile placentation. In axile placentation, the placenta, they are attached to a central column. There is a central column in the ovary, so we have ovary and there is a central column. Now partitions from the column to the ovary wall, they create locules. So we have placenta here, let's draw them. So suppose there are placenta. So these to these placenta, for example, ovules will be attached. And now ovules are attached to these placenta. This is what we call axile placentation, just like axle of wheel. So quite similar to that. So these orange colored structures, they are placenta and these are the ovules. And such an arrangement is known as axile placentation. Now this was the general shape of an axile placentation in a bilocular ovary. However, in APAC the situation is slightly different. So what happens that in APAC we have a central column and then we have these two carpels. Now this is carpel number 1 and this is carpel number 2, and this is the central column. But in APAC there is only one ovule per locule. So this is the overall position. So we have only two ovules in each locule. So this is the axile placentation and the position of axile placentation in family APAC. Actual axile placentation looks something like this, but in APAC, since there is only one placenta per locule and to each placenta one ovule is attached, so we have two ovules, one ovule per locule. So this was placentation of the ovary. Next is the style. Styles are two in number. There are two styles per carpel or compound carpel, because this is a compound carpel bicarpellary syncarpus, so it has two styles. As far as the size of the style or the length of the style is concerned, so they are short, they are not very elongated styles. The styles, they usually get enlarged or they are often spreading at the base, and what they form a disc-like structure known as stylopodium or stylopodium. So this is what it looks like. So as you can see this particular diagram. So this is a flower of family Apiaceae, and as you can see this is that disc-like structure, and it has been formed by the spreading or expansion of the styles. So it becomes a disc-like structure at the base, and this is what is known as stylopodium or stylopodium. So spreading at the base and form a disc-like structure. So this disc-like structure at the base of the style is, because of the spreading of the style, is formed from the styles, form a disc-like structure, and that is known as stylopodium or podium. So this is the style of family Apiaceae. Next is the stigma. Now stigma are barely distinguishable, hardly distinguishable. That is, they don't have any characteristic shape for the most part. So barely distinguishable from the style. So they are not distinguishable. However, there is a honey secreting disc around the style. So say this is style, for example, the upper part. Let's make it a little bigger so that then we have a disc here, and this is what is known as gynostigium. So what is this gynostigium? This is a honey secreting disc at the base of the or near the style or where the style stigma is found. So this is the stigma area, and we have a disc-like structure. Next is the position of the ovary. Again, this is related to the floral diagram of the flower. So ovary is located in the flower, what we call anterior posteriorly. And in the previous video I told you what is anterior and posterior part of the flower. So according to that, its location is towards the anterior posterior part of the flower, its overall position of the ovary, and that is we are going to discuss inshallah when we discuss the floral diagram in general and of the family Apiaceae. So this was the discussion of the ovary or gynoecium, the final floral part of family Apiaceae. Next is the fruit. Fruit is a schizocarpic. Hopefully, if you remember in your second semester, we have a full chapter dedicated to fruit and its kinds. So we have dry fruits, and in those dry fruits we have a kind known as schizocarpic. Now this schizo is splitting. Schizocarpic fruits are those which split into one seeded compartment. So this is known as schizocarpic fruit. And there are different kinds of schizocarpic fruits like Lomentum and others. And the characteristic fruit of family Apiaceae is known as cremocarp. So cremocarp is the it's a subcategory of schizocarpic fruit, and it is characteristic fruit of family Apiaceae. So it usually splits, as I just told you, that the schizocarpic fruits they split into one seeded compartment. So it splits into, and if you remember, we have just seen while discussing the placentation that in Apiaceae we have only one ovule per lacule. That means this ovary, as we know, ovary develops into fruit and the ovules develop into seed. So obviously there will be two seeds in the fruit. So this is what we are discussing here, that cremocarp it splits into one seeded parts, and they are known as mericarp. So it will split into two parts like this. For example, the common plants of this family, the cardamons which we commonly use like coriander, fennel, so they usually split into one seeded part, and that one seeded part is known as mericarp. So this is a mericarp, and this is also a mericarp. So these are two mericarps, and the whole fruit is known as cremocarp. It is a schizocarpic fruit in the dry fruits, simple dry fruits. So we have very different kinds of large groups of dry fruits like echinal fruits, capsular fruits, and schizocarpic fruits. So the whole story is something like this. So we have simple and then dry fruit. Those fruits whose wall gets dry when they ripe. So they are simple dry fruits, and those simple dry fruits have three subgroups: echinal and capsular and schizocarpic. So this is the third one of the simple and dry fruits. Simple fruit is the one which is formed from one carpel, that is known as simple fruit. So this is a simple fruit, and it's a dry fruit. As it gets dry, it's the wall of the fruit, that is pericarp, gets dry when it ripes, and it is schizocarpic, and in the schizocarpic we have subcategory cremocarp. So it is a cremocarp, and it splits into two one-seeded parts, and those one-seeded parts are known as mericarp. The seeds are albuminous. This refers to the endosperm. It is a specialized tissue present inside the seeds which stores up food, and then that food is utilized when the seed germinates. So they are albuminous, that is, they contain what is called endosperm. So it is also known as endospermic. So we have albuminous or endospermic seed. So this was the discussion of family Apiaceae. It's we have discussed right from its habit, stem, leaf, the root, and then the inflorescence, flower, and various parts of the flower, and final discussion was about fruit and seed. And finally, the floral formula of the family. As you know, in the floral formula, we indicate the symmetry of the flower, so mostly they are actinomorphic. So we have a short circle, small circle with a plus sign in the center. So this is symbol for actinomorphic. However, sometimes the flowers are zygomorphic as well. So this symbol, this is for zygomorphic. And then the sex of the flower. So mostly the flowers are bisexual, as we have already seen. So flowers are bisexual. So this is a bisexual symbol for both male and female. And then the floral parts, we have K and 5, they are free. Then we have C, corolla, 5, they are also free. And then we have A, that is androecium, they are 5 and they are also free. However, G is not free, so we bracket or parenthesis around the figure or the number of the carpels, which indicates union. And then we draw a line above the ovary, and it indicates inferior ovary, that is, ovary is inferior. So we have actinomorphic or zygomorphic, mostly actinomorphic, bisexual, sepals 5, free, corolla, petals 5, free, stamens 5, free, carpels G, gynoecium. They are 2, but they are united, polycarpillary or bicarpillary syncarpus. However, it is, since the flower is epigynous, so the ovary becomes inferior and the other floral parts become superior. So this concludes our discussion of family Apiaceae. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.